and then we'll be embarking from tomorrow on verse number 11. Two more verses left, 11 and 12. A very short commentary by Urmila Devidasi. Raghunath Das Goswami's verse 10 is similar to what Rupa Goswami has written in Ujjvala Nilamani 178 as follows. Surpassing the wealth of great prem of other women, look, Radha, spreading waves from her ocean of Anurag, has stopped Durga, half of Shiva's body, because she is equal to him. She has obstructed Lakshmi, situated on Vishnu's chest, because of her affection. She has surpassed Satyabhama, a lotus for the bee of Krishna's mind, because of her good fortune. Because of her sweetness, Radharani is excelling Chandravali, the friend who has enlivened the Lord of sweetness of Krishna. So Bhakti Vinod, in his commentary to verse 10, reiterates the point he made in reference to verse 9 about being trained in one's individual attitude and service. The residents of Braj, we apprentice under in Raganuga Bhakti, guide to us to take our place in the eternal pastimes. The ultimate perfection for a living being is to humbly be under the shelter of the form of Krishna's personal energy, Swarupa Shakti, assisting in loving service for his pleasure. Verse 10 express Raghunath Das Goswami's love for Radharani, Swarupa Shakti, and encourage development of the reader affection, appreciation, and devotion for her. So yesterday we glanced it over. There are three prominent qualities of Srimati Radharani. Any Shrutadhar can cite these three qualities. Anybody remember? Three most beautiful qualities of Srimati Radharani. She is most beautiful. One. Second, she can control Krishna. And third, she is very, very fortunate. So these are the wonderful qualities, I think. Now, let me put my bookmark for the text number 11. So we'll be embarking on text number 11 tomorrow by Bhakti Vinod Thakur commentary. At least to give you a glimpse of it, we will read the translation of this verse number 11. O mind, you should every day drink the five nectars: worship, glories, meditation, listening to the divine pastime, and offering obeisances I will ask Sutadhar tomorrow to remember worship, glories, meditation, listening to the pastimes, and offering obeisances. And worship Govardhan according to the rules in this way, follow the instructions of Rupa and obtain the direct service of Sri Sri Radha Giridhari, who are captivated by the God of amorous love in the company of their associates in Brajadam. So we will be reading the Srila Prabhupada Life, volume number 5, chapter 1. I'll read the paragraph that we read yesterday, and then we will continue. Prabhupada, however, followed exactly in the footsteps of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. This is we should learn. We have to follow in the footsteps of our acharyas, who had freely accepted anyone, regardless of sex or social position. When in 1932, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had led more than 1,000 followers in a Vrindavan pilgrimage, certain prideful caste brahmanas had denied the pilgrims entry into the temples. The pilgrims had been harassed by rock throwers and boycotted by shopkeepers. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had then met with brahmanas of the Vrindavan and had scripturally proved to them that the soul, being transcendental, was free from designation, and that anyone who became a Vaishnava automatically qualified as a Brahmana. The prejudice, however, had remained. That's where we stop. So we continue. Prabhupada also followed Srila Bhaktisiddhanta in denying that the Goswami title could be inherited. Goswami means one who controlled the senses, and the title could not be adopted simply because one was born in a family of so-called Goswamis. The original Goswamis were the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan: Sri Sanatan, Sri Rupa, Sri Raghunath Bhatt, Sri Jiva, Sri Gopal Bhatt, and Sri Raghunath Das Goswamis, all of whom were in the renounced order and were therefore without issue. Almost 500 years ago, these 6 Goswamis has discovered the places of Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes and had built the first big temples in Vrindavan. They had appointed married disciples to carry on the deity worship in the temples. And now the descendants of those original priests were claiming exclusive rights as temple Goswamis in Vrindavan. Prabhupada had written in the Nectar of Devotion about his spiritual master's struggle in this matter as follows. After the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya's great associates, Lord Nityananda, a class of priestly persons claimed to be the descendants of Nityananda, calling themselves the Goswami caste. They further claimed that the practice and spreading of devotional service belong only to their particular class, which was known as Nityananda Vansha. In this way, they exercised their artificial power for some time until Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the powerful Acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, completely smashed their idea. There was a great hard struggle for some time, but it has turned out successfully, and it is now correctly and practically established that devotional service is not restricted to a particular class of men. So Prabhupada therefore opposed the caste Goswami's ideas of birthright, and the caste Goswamis feared Prabhupada's movement, since it threatened their hereditary social preeminence. Yet on this occasion of Prabhupada's triumphant return after preaching Vrindavan's glories to the Western world, no one protested his attempt to establish a temple. Those who disagreed remained silent or even offered flowery praise. The land was in Ramanreti. Prabhupada noted that the property on the outskirts of Vrindavan was located on busy Chatika Road, a main thoroughfare into Vrindavan and a traffic route to Agra and the Taj Mahal. The land was also adjacent to the Vrindavan Parikrama path, where millions of pilgrims passed annually, circumambulating Vrindavan and visiting its temple and holy places. Ramanreti, literally charming sand, was mostly forest, with a few ashrams and abundant fields. Celebrated as a favorite spot of Krishna's, where he and his brother Balram and their cowherd boyfriends had played 5,000 years ago. Ramanreti abounded in transcendental love of God, which is the spatial atmosphere of Vrindavan. Although various city officials had casually mentioned that the city might donate land, Prabhupada took more seriously Mr. S. offer. Mr. S. explained that although other sadhus had been asking for this land, he and his wife had not yet decided. They wanted to give it to a group who would build a Radha Krishna temple there as soon as possible. And when Prabhupada assured Mr. S he would do so, Mr. S vowed that the land was now Prabhupada's. Prabhupada had heard such promises before, and they had often proved false. But considering this offer serious, he appointed a disciple to remain in Vrindavan to draw up a deed with Mr. S. Meanwhile, Prabhupada took his disciple on a pilgrimage to many of the important holy places of Vrindavan, like Varshana, the birthplace of Srimati Radharani, Gokul, the place of Krishna's earliest pastimes, Radhakund, Govardhan, and Vrindavan's major temples. At Govardhan, Prabhupada told the devotees not to step on Govardhan Hill or pick up any of the rocks. Govardhan Hill was none different from Krishna. And also at Govardhan, Prabhupada took the devotees to a little temple where he showed them Krishna's footprints. The footprints was very large, If Krishna's foot had been that big, the devotees marvel. Then he must have been 8 feet tall. Yes, Prabhupada says. They were much bigger then. So this is true. We have to be extremely careful not to pick up any rocks when we visit the Govardhan Hill, unless there are two conditions my Guru Maharaj shared with me. One, that you can accept that Sila if it is donated by the Brajvasis, or you leave same amount of gold. You weigh the Sila and you leave the gold. And my Guru Maharaj was saying that, we got this Govardhan in Houston Temple, a very big Sila was donated by Narayana Maharaj to Tamal Krishna Maharaj. And he accepted as a gift. But then Tamal Krishna Maharaj was telling me that Govardhan doesn't leave him alone. So he ended up buying this King Bharatpur palace. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj was telling me that eventually Govardhan took my money, equal amount as the weight of this Govardhan Sila that we have been worshipping Giriraj at Houston Temple. So near Govardhan at Bindu Sarovar, a lake commemorating the place where Radha and Krishna first met. The devotees swam while Prabhupada bathed from buckets of water in the nearby well. Later, while Prabhupada took prasadam, the devotees tried to chase away a few stray dogs by throwing stones and yelling, but Prabhupada stopped them. Leave them alone, he said, and he began throwing the dogs prasadam from his plate. At Varshana, the birthplace of Radharani, the devotees carried Prabhupada on a palanquin of the many steep steps to the temple. On the top of the hill, he looked toward a distant hill. Good. Just over there, he said, pointing. Krishna used to come down that hill, and Radha would come down this hill, and they would meet in the middle. There was a forest there. So this is a very special place because it is the meeting place of Radha and Krishna. In each holy place, Prabhupada would sit down, hold a kirtan, and come before the deity and offer obeisances. Today we read the 5 things, right? Deity worship, glorification, meditation, remembering the past times, and what was the last one? Offer obeisances. So this is what Prabhupada is following. Then he would briefly describe the pastimes of Krishna related with the particular place. Dina Dayadri is explaining this in her own words. The Indians at the holy places were always hounding Prabhupada for money. They assumed that his disciples, being Americans, were rich, so they wanted money. Prabhupada would give something, but there were so many that as soon as he would give to one, half a dozen others would crowd around him, preventing him from walking by. In some of the temple, they wouldn't let us enter. So I remember Tamal Krishna Maharaj shared with me these wonderful pastimes that Prabhupada used to carry small change, 5 paisas, 25 paisas, like this, when he visits the temple in Vrindavan or any of the pilgrimage places. But he give a rule to whom we should donate the money. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj told me that Prabhupada says that the beggar who is never extending his hand or anything, just sit silently without approaching for the donation. Those are the ones that we should donate the money. Very nice instructions we can follow. Prabhupada then took his group. I remember a wonderful exchange I have at the Moon Sarovar, Chandra Sarovar, where wonderful Ras Leela happened. And also there the, what was the poet, has his bhajan kutir and his samadhi also. A very famous poet, I don't know how I forget his name. Good. Anyway, so we were at this Chandra Sarovar, and some Brajvasis, they were haunting behind us, asking for donation, following us, telling us, and then I thought that let me share with him that at least if you want to get a donation, sit at the silent place. Don't extend your hand or anything, just sit quietly. Then maybe ISKCON devotee may give you some money, but not by following them and keep on asking the donation. And we teach them a lesson. We didn't give them the donation. So this is something very nice. So then Prabhupada then took his group to the place beside the Yamuna, where Krishna has shown his mother all the universes. Where is it? Who can name this place? Where this happened? Brahman Kund, Haribol. Within his mouth. Touching the water, Prabhupada said, "It is too cold for an old man like me, but you take a bath. I'll put a few drops on my head." This is something that Prabhupada is teaching us, that when you cannot take a bath, at least we should offer the humble obeisances and then take in your right hand some few drops and put it on your head. That's equal to taking a bath. He directed the woman to a separate place to swim, where the Indian woman bathed, and the man plunged in and began swimming. They spotted in the water as Prabhupada stood on the bank, watching. Suddenly, Prabhupada put on a gamcha, walked to the river's edge, sprinkled some water on his head, and then waded in up to his knees. This is the procedure to visit those places. The devotees were delighted to see him duck beneath the water and began bathing and splashing with them in the Yamuna. A beautiful picture is there, I think, in Brajamandala Parikrama, where Prabhupada is taking that bath there at Brahman Kund. Srila Prabhupada decided that he would remain in his quarter at Mr. Sarab's home while his old friend Hitsaran Sharma took the devotees to Vrindavan's famous temples. Prabhupada did, however, make a point of going with his disciple to visit Radha Damodar temple, where he had lived for several years, writing Srimad Bhagavatam and Back to Godhead magazine before going to America in 1965. At the Radha Damodar temple, Prabhupada told the devotees of his plan for an ISKCON temple in Vrindavan, and he suggested to Radha Damodar Pujari that ISKCON use the Radha Damodar temple. Quote, "We shall prepare the whole temple nicely," Prabhupada said, "and we shall make a silver throne for the deities. 50 to 100 men will take prasadam here. It will be unique. If you want to, we can do it. Otherwise, we can start our own temple somewhere. We are prepared to spend money. If you give us a chance, we will spend it here. We want to make these great festivals in Vrindavan because it is Jiva Goswami's place. Rupa Goswami and Jiva Goswami sat here. We have literature, we have books. Everyone is associating with us all over the world. So Yamuna Mataji is saying in her own words as follows. His divine grace was very frequently giving indication of how much he wanted his room at Radha Damodar maintained nicely. He was extremely fond of his quarter there. One night during his stay in Sarab Bhavan, he agreed that he would stay for one 24-hour period within his rooms at the Radha Damodar temple. It was a very exciting event for all of us to look forward to. He selected 3 or 4 men to accompany him to spend the night there at the Radha Damodar temple. Sarab Bhavan was some distance from Seva Kunj, where the Radha Damodar temple is located. During the very early hours of the morning, I walked through the streets of Vrindavan and arrived at the Radha Damodar temple. Inside of Srila Prabhupada's sleeping room, I could see the light coming through the lattice red stone windows and the wooden shutters. Back and forth, he was walking and chanting. Suddenly, very much to my surprise, the wooden shutters burst open, and a shaft of light filled a small corner of the courtyard. Prabhupada stood in his room under one bare light bulb. When he saw me, he asked, "How have you gotten here?" I said that I have walked. "Oh, this is not good," he said. "It is very dangerous in the street. There are so many wild dogs and there are dacoits. In this quarter, a man will kill even for a lota water pot." Unquote. So there was some chastisement from Prabhupada on the one hand, but on the other hand, he seems pleased. Quote, "So you are chanting japa?" he said, and I said, "Yes, Srila Prabhupada." He said, quote, "That is very nice. So go to the Samadhi of Rupa Goswami and chant there." Unquote. Then around 4 o'clock, other pilgrims were starting to filter in to attend the morning Aarti program. Prabhupada came out where we were chanting, and he said that this corner at the Radha Damodar temple was just like the hub of the wheel of the spiritual world. It was the center. And he requested that his room always be well maintained and that they be cleansed daily. So still we have this memorable room, kitchen, everything is there. So Radhanath Maharaj, maybe, he's explaining this scene as follow in Maharaj's words. I had only met Srila Prabhupada briefly in Bombay, and then I had gone alone to live in Vrindavan. I had lived there about 6 months with the local people, and it was there the guy got real attached to Krishna consciousness. I used to just live on the bank of the river with all the Babajis. Maharaj is expert, yes. Live in Himalayas with the Babajis, and I remember that all these people with the leprosy, they will approach money, because they think that Maharaj has came from America, but Maharaj has only a couple of pair of clothes, nothing else. So simple. Maharaj has lived a beautiful life. And I was lucky to hug Maharaj maybe more than 25 times in my life. Haribol. So kind. I know it was just by that initial contact with Prabhupada that seed was planted. One day, a big bus full of American devotees having a kirtan pulled into Vrindavan. And I was thinking, God, oh, here they are again. The first thing I asked was, is Prabhupada coming? And they said, yes, Prabhupada is here. He will be speaking tomorrow morning, unquote. What time it is? Okay, 6:55. See, Krishna is so kind to tell us time to end our session. We should be punctual, and he is so kind to remind us. So with those thoughts, I think let's keep on praying, remembering those what we read, dwell on it. I will ask those Sutadhar the 5 things that we should do tomorrow before we read Manahasiksha. So before the devotee leaves, I would like to offer my humble obeisances at the desk of this wonderful devotee street by offering prayer. Vanchakalpatarupasya Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Offering obeisances to the devotees, 2,000. So at least we have 21 devotees, so at least 21 obeisances. We have a